What's poppin', homies, and welcome to Highly Announced Bodacity, the only show on the internet where some guy talks about all the bodacious new video games he wants on the Nintendo Switch. Without further ado, let's get down, drop the beat, and talk about games. Wait, what? Aw shoot, I'm not being bodacious or hip at all by talking about the Nintendo Switch games I want. Oh well, I guess after that Ocarina of Time and story in Mario Maker forward-thinkingness, I'm back to being a normie YouTuber. Cringy jokes aside, Nintendo's moderately slow release year of 2018 has given me a lot of time to think about all the games I want them to release sooner or later for the thing. These could either be ports, remakes, or new games entirely. The only qualification to get on my list is that it has to be unannounced, and obviously I have to want it. Keep in mind that this is just my personal list of games, so if your most wanted games aren't here, that's because they aren't in my top 5. Just to appease you commenters though, I'm now giving a formal, honorable mention to Animal Crossing in one form or another. You know who you are, just kidding, I love all of you. Now that we're done with that, let's get started. At number 5, we've got a pretty common request in recent years, and that's Super Mario Sunshine HD. Super Mario Sunshine is one of the most controversial 3D Mario games, and that's most likely due to the game's glorious highs contrasted by its rock-bottom lows.
Next bus to Bikini Bottom.
Not that rock bottom, but yeah, this game, in my eyes, can go from great to awful at the drop of a hat. On the one hand, you've got the game's charm and sometimes still beautiful visuals, which always wow me, and the general feel of the game and its dialogue just have a kind of special uniqueness to them. The controls are also very snappy, and the variety that the FLUDD adds to the game remained unparalleled in my mind until Odyssey brought Cappy into the mix. And while not nearly as open-ended as Odyssey or even Mario 64 in my opinion, Super Mario Sunshine is certainly much more open-ended than more recent games before Odyssey, namely in the multitude of tasks used to get various shines. Despite these incredible aspects, Super Mario Sunshine is far from perfect. While I highlighted the excellent movement system and use of FLUDD, the movement, in some areas at least, kind of falls apart when you're doing actual platforming. It's not at all uncommon to glitch through certain platforms or get pushed around in a way that just feels unfair. Some shines are fine and feel great to get, but a large quantity of them are just plain tedious to acquire due to the glitchy hitboxes. Like, when going after certain shines, you'll just be going along when all of a sudden, the platforms change up on you and you try to adjust with FLUDD, but the platforms are like, nope, and they just sit there like nothing happened, and you've got to try 50 more times to get all the coins so you can finally beat the stupid sandbird because he's stupid. Ahem. Mario Sunshine was clearly a bit rushed, but that just makes the idea of an HD remake all the more exciting. Go in there, clean up some physics, take the tedium out of some of the tasks, and you'd have one heck of a game. Almost more importantly, you'd have a version of Mario Sunshine that you can play without having to boot up your GameCube or Wii every time you want to do something, and most of all, you'd have a version without the inverted camera. I swear, every time I go back to Mario Sunshine, I always mess up because of the inverted camera controls. Then if I play long enough to get used to them, I try to play literally any other 3D game and I'm screwed. Gosh, if they just fixed up the physics and camera on Mario Sunshine, that would be one heck of a game, which is why Super Mario Sunshine HD is my pick for the 5th most wanted Switch game. For number 4, we've got a bit of an oddball, and that's a port of the HD Zelda remakes from the Wii U. The Wind Waker HD remains one of my favorite games of all time, and while I never played Twilight Princess HD, it's certainly something I'd like to pick up on the Switch. Now, I'll admit, a large portion of my desire for this and Mario Sunshine HD comes from the lack of Virtual Console on Switch, something that I've been itching to talk about. I think Nintendo's always done things that don't mesh with people's opinions at one time or another, but the only time that I've been straight up mad at Nintendo is right now with the confirmation that there will not be Virtual Console on Switch. I mean, come on, it would just be perfect. The Joy-Cons could emulate Wii remotes, the GameCube controls could have been worked out, and certain Wii U games could have had the gamepad worked out. It was the perfect plan. If they would have given the Switch a Virtual Console or some other store where I could buy all my favorite old Nintendo games, I would have spent at least $100 there, but nope. Sorry guys, but we're just letting you stream NES games, which Alf doesn't care about in the slightest. No GameCube, no N64, no Wii, no portable retro games after the online services are taken down, no nothing. Play your retro games somewhere else. The thought of never playing my favorite Wii U games on the Switch saddens and slightly angers me, thus I have included the HD Zelda remakes in Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on my list. Maybe packaged together, maybe not. Bottom line is I want to play Wind Waker HD on my Switch. No real reason this time, I just love Wind Waker and want it on the go. Twilight Princess HD just because they couldn't have one without the other, and I've never played Twilight Princess. That got slightly more ranty than I originally intended, so let's just move on to number 3. At number 3, this is technically 2 separate games, but they're the same general concept. I would like to see a proper sequel to Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey, preferably both. The same engine, menus, graphics, all that, but with new worlds to explore and abilities to use, just like Super Mario Galaxy 2 or Majora's Mask. Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey were both so incredible, and the thought of another game in each of their styles that builds upon their highs and improves upon their weaknesses could potentially end up creating two of the best games of all time, and aside from that, I'd just love to get more of each game. I mean, Odyssey and Breath of the Wild were arguably the two biggest games of 2017, and for Breath of the Wild in particular, when I realized that subsequent playthroughs of the same world could never match the initial magic I felt the first time around, I just gained this uncontrollable longing for a proper sequel. There was something so special about discovering everything the massive worlds had to offer in both games, so an even better sequel to each one would be the first addition to a term I'm officially coining now, Bliss on a Cartridge. Out of the two games I want a proper sequel to, if I had to pick one that would get a sequel, it would be Breath of the Wild. While both games were fantastic experiences, Breath of the Wild arguably had the most to improve upon, namely in the story and dungeon department. I personally didn't have a huge problem with these, but I can see the massive desire among fans for the story and dungeons of future Zelda games to be handled a bit better. Odyssey's only real problem for me was the inclusion of mandatory motion controls, which could be easily patched if Nintendo wanted to make a nearly perfect version of the Odyssey formula. So yeah, that's about all I've got for Odyssey and Breath of the Wild sequels, so let's move on to number 2. For number 2, I'd like to see Super Mario Maker in one form or another on the Switch. I've got 2 whole videos about what I want from Super Mario Maker's future entries, and I'd recommend clicking the cards in the corner if you want more specific wishes from me. More generally though, I just want to play Super Mario Maker on my Switch. Regardless of what I said in my more recent Mario Maker video, I did spend many an hour with my Wii U making and playing levels, and that experience on the go would be awesome. Okay, yeah, I could have gotten the game on 3DS, but you can't share levels online there, and come on, the 3DS. Nobody likes that stupid thing anymore. Either way, yeah, I especially want Mario Maker on Switch because my stupid Wii U won't connect to the internet anymore, and I've got some really cool level ideas that I want to share with people. Personal desires aside, Super Mario Maker is the only game the Wii U is still getting any publicity on the internet over, and while I'm glad the dead console is still having something going for it, I really want to play it on the Switch. Super Mario Maker is one of those games where I'm like, wait, why hasn't Nintendo put it on the Switch yet? It would sell great, everyone wants it, and I really hope it's released or announced soon. That's about it though, so on to number 1. Pikmin 4. I mean, come on guys, you know I had to. I don't have a ranked list of my favorite games of all time, mostly because I can't just pick one favorite, and my opinions change based on what I've been playing the most. I do, however, have a sort of club that all my favorites get to be in, and Pikmin 3 is a high-ranking member in that club. I love Pikmin. Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey are both in my favorite games club with Pikmin 3, but Pikmin hasn't yet appeared on the Switch, and I want it so badly. If Nintendo still somehow isn't close to finishing Pikmin 4, I'm at least hoping we get something like a Pikmin Trilogy HD launching in late 2018. If you want to know specific things I'm looking for in Pikmin 4, click the card in the corner to see my hopes for Pikmin 4, but I don't have a whole lot to say other than what I would say there. One thing I might have forgotten to mention is how cool a level editor would be, but that's about it. Aside from the fact that I really just want to play Pikmin 4, I do think a Switch Pikmin game could really make Pikmin a less niche franchise. The GameCube and Wii U were Nintendo's worst-selling home consoles, and while Pikmin 1 and 2 came to the Wii, I would argue that most core Nintendo fans haven't gotten a proper taste of Pikmin. With the Switch turning out to be a big hit, especially among real gamers this time, Pikmin 4 could finally give Pikmin the big break it's looking for. That's just how I see it though. I wasn't really there for the launch of any of the Pikmin games, or at least I wasn't paying attention to any of their launches. Regardless of all that though, Pikmin 4 is hands down my most wanted Switch game, and while some of you may be thinking it already has been announced, I don't see it that way. A game being confirmed to be in development is not the same as that game being announced, and that's really the only counter argument I have to that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go into a corner and write a 10-page essay to Nintendo about how much I love Pikmin and why they should release Pikmin 4 tomorrow. Dear Nintendo, please, 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 please. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and tell me your most wanted Switch games down in the comments below. See you next time, and have a great day.